We're rolling.
About to take another one to the dome.
You want to go ahead and start off with the intro?
Oh, what?
Okay, I'll do it. Welcome back to the Five Guys podcast. We are here with 4/5 of the members. We have
Joel.
John.
myself, and we have Rob behind the scenes. He's actually showing up here.
Hey.
And yeah, we're the Five Guys. Four guys right now. Daniel decided to sit this one out, so it's all good. But we're going to continue here with us four. And yeah, it's been about almost 2 months since the last
episode,
So we'll go ahead and I guess we could do a recap of like 2023. And we'll start off there. So
Go ahead,
wants to
Pookie. Take it.
So like a recap?
Yeah. I guess we could start from wherever you want to start, from like the beginning of 2023, or we could just do from where we left off.
I could I'll just say I definitely like loved the end of like my 2023. Like I was definitely satisfied knowing that like I completed that year doing everything that I know that I wanted to do. And I succeeded and accomplished everything that I wanted to do. Like, for example, like, starting a podcast, like,
Right.
you know, like, like traveling, like meeting new people, experiencing the type of things that I wanted to experience. I was able to do that this year. And, like, keep in mind, too, like, my perception of, like, this time frame was, like, when I'd be, like, older, like, 30, successful, you know? But I'm just, like, I'm experiencing them now. So, like, I'm internally grateful to, like, be experiencing them at, like, 22. So, yeah, it's been cool.
Yeah, I forgot. Joel's the young one in the group.
Yeah, I'm the youngest.
Yep. John, you want to go ahead and give me a little recap?
Yeah, I mean, 2023 just seemed to, just blow by so quickly. I mean, I can't believe it's already 2024 and we're halfway through January. But as far as like my personal recap goes, I would say it was a pretty successful year. I had some really big goals just for myself as far as like running my business, being a father, my gym goals, my friend goals, and I mean, I can say similar to Joel that I feel like super fulfilled with the way that I ended 2024. It made me super eager and excited for 2023, super excited for 2024. But I think like, the highlights that I've had to finish off the year is I would say, hanging out with you guys more has been really awesome. I mean, a lot of my, I guess, wild moments or fun moments at the gym or outside the gym or just, living our personal lives has been like super great and wonderful. And starting the podcast was obviously something that we had discussed. And even though it's been some time between now and the first one, we're making things happen. And I'm just super, super grateful for another year lived. Besides the fact I turned 28. I'm getting old. I got 2 more years to live in my youth of my 20s.
I'm right behind you.
Yeah, so
right behind you.
so I could say like aside from that, I'm just looking forward, again to 2024, and I'm looking forward to like the opportunities that are gonna rise, but also like what we can accomplish as, the Five Guys, as well as just like a community, because I think. We got some cool people in our circle, and the influence is already growing. And I know that we're like-minded individuals with motivation and aspirations. And so, we're going to crush it. What about you?
For sure, yeah. So my 2023, everybody's journeys are different. So at least for me, my 2023 was very, I guess you could say it was very slow for me. And I think I say that because this year work for me has been like super slow. So like without working consistently, it's like I feel like that kind of just makes everything else feel a lot slower. So I was being super consistent at the gym and hitting everything that I wanted to do at the gym, but like work wise, it's like, oh wow, like I feel like it kind of put me back. But I got good news, like finally I'm like, oh, okay, so it's like everything was kind of coming into like, what's the right word? Everything was kind of just falling together towards the end of 2023. So it's like, oh, okay, something to look forward to. So, where I work, we got 25 people that are going to be elevated, and I'm one of the people that are in that group. So it's just like
Nice.
Congratulations.
So, yeah, so that's good news. So I'll be working a little bit more consistently in 2024. But looking into 2024, like, what are your guys' like goals and aspirations? Like, what do you guys got going on?
Yeah.
Let's go to Pookie. What you got?
Definitely. I don't know if I'm being transparent. With the end of my 2023, actually, like I genuinely felt like I was my happiest, and like a lot of those moments are like with you guys. So thank you. But yeah, like moving forward, I'm still carrying that with me. So as of right now, like I've just been very joyful and very like feeling like fulfilled, very happy. So just like I've just been learning to like not get so caught up in like, how would I say, like get so caught up. I was gonna say like getting so caught up in chasing my dreams. Like I really just want to focus on being more present, cause like I'm noticing like as I'm breathing and living and just doing what I'm doing, dude, I'm like achieving my dreams naturally. Like it's just like as long as I'm breathing, like it's just gonna happen. So I've just been moving at a very nice pace and like everything's just coming my way.
It's really just trusting the process.
Yeah, so it's just like me just trusting. So I'm just learning to just be more present, cause like, dude, like looking back at the end of 2023, dude, like I did a lot of things that like I thought like I would like fight to do before I died, you know, like as I was saying, like, you know, like when I'm like old, you know, like if I even get there, hopefully, you know, like I'm at that point where it's just like, you know, like I thought I would be like a lot older doing the things that I'm doing now. So like right now I'm just like full send it. Like I'm just like I've definitely just been enjoying the process, but I just want to practice just being present and being more of a provider to my friends and family. So I'm just like I feel like that's like one of my biggest like what's really driving me right now to take 2024 like by the horns, like just to take it head on, is just like I want to be able to give back to the people who've given so much to me. So yeah.
Love that.
Dude, yeah. Intentionality. That's something that has resonated with me, because looking so far in the future and just looking at time has been one of those things, those concepts that I've been thinking about the most. But being intentional, being present, and enjoying where you're at before you know where you're going is sometimes like bliss.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really cool to like find joy in those moments. And I would agree. Yeah. I mean, we've had some good times, and, you know, I would just like take advantage of being present as much as possible. And I think a lot of people just get kind of stuck in this pattern that life has created or society has created of like, by these time frames you should be doing this. But it's like, no, dude, chill out and do what makes you happy. And I try to tell, you know, a lot of my, I guess, employees and friends and close ones, like, hey, like if you're at the end of the day, if you're chasing what makes you happy, that's all I could ever like ask for. And that's something you should be grateful for, because looking in the future, if you forget to be intentional and lose that sense of it's okay to be patient, you're gonna miss like some of the greatest things, which hanging out with you guys, meeting you guys, working out, seeing you guys, Rob, cameraman, you know, like those are little things, but that have been so fulfilling, you know, recently, especially ending the year. So
Yeah.
I could resonate with you there.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy? It's like, I remember, like, we would be in the gym. We'd almost see each other every day. And I remember there's, like, a week where you were gone. Or, like, and I'm like, where's Joel? Where is this guy at? Or, like, where you had your little, like, okay, I'm going to reset at In Shape, and took, like, what was it, like a week and a half?
No, it was
like,
longer.
Yeah, it was pretty long.
Yeah.
I'm like, where is this guy? But it's like when everyone's there together. Like the other day, I think it was Rob, or us three. It was us three. We were missing Joel and Daniel. But I'm like, dang, it's nice to have everybody together. And it's just like, it makes the gym more enjoyable. You're just there with your friends and just like,
Ability to create culture.
Definitely. And we're all striving for like the same goal, to be stronger, to look better, to just be a better version of yourself, really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, character building.
Definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
I love that. What about you?
Yeah,
What's something you're looking into in 2024?
2024. I mean, I definitely agree with you guys.
Yeah.
I think for me, I've been on, I guess you could say, like a spiritual journey, and it's just recently started. So I definitely want to say that this year I want to try to be, or like be more, what's the right word? Like intact with my faith, if that makes sense. I feel like before I was a person that always had questions about, God and why is it like this and this and that. But I don't know. I feel like I just went through like a couple of things this year towards the end of the year, and I'm like, And I had a couple of, I guess you could say, signs that kind of brought me closer to my faith. So this year I really want to try to just jump into that, jump into my faith and just move on from there. And it's a journey, it's a process. So I definitely want to get on that process and just write. I don't know, it's a journey, so we'll see where it takes me. But it's something to look forward to for sure. Because I know you guys are pretty, you have a pretty
Strong
deep faith, right?
Yeah, and that's really awesome, dude. And I appreciate you sharing that, because spirituality or religion or believing in God and Christianity, etc., isn't necessarily like the coolest thing to do nowadays. Obviously, we probably know people in our personal lives that have strayed away from God, but being a God-fearing man is actually really powerful and really uncommon. So, speaking on my own faith, I didn't grow up in the church, was forced to go to church, so it was an obligation. And it wasn't until like probably a few years ago that I found a church that really impacted me, a group of people that really impacted me, and they taught me like, hey, Christianity isn't a religion. Like, it should be a relationship, and
right.
A relationship you have with your Father and Jesus, and basically the trilogy, for a lack of better terms. But I think that's really awesome that you are inquiring about that, and I think for most people hopping into faith, it's okay to have questions.
Definitely,
and it's okay to feel a little hesitant, because once you break that barrier and you totally like commit and see the fruits of what God has to offer, it's absolutely amazing, dude. Honestly, it is really wonderful. And I think that's something that me and Rob talk about, but Rob's been sending us some Bible verses. Definitely. And it's really refreshing to just get the word of God through the people that are surrounding you, because it just makes it more comfortable to inquire about those things. So that's an awesome goal.
Yeah, definitely. And just a really quick special thanks to Rob, actually, because I feel like if Rob wasn't there for what I went through or whatever I went through, I wouldn't be where I would be at right now. So thank you, Rob. I appreciate you, Rob.
Shout out, Rob. Woo!
Yeah. So.
I guess, I didn't really touch base on 2024 either, but I'll backtrack a little bit, because I don't know, explain it a little bit further, but I don't know how I can top that. But basically, 2024, looking into this year, 2023 was a lot of restructuring in my life, I would say, and a lot of I related to opening up a business for the first time. Like, the first year's typically the hardest, because you're catching your footing, finances play a role into it, and it's like slow growing. But I relate that to my life in the sense, like, I am finally in a place this year where I can actually enjoy the works or the fruits of my labors as well, which I'm like totally excited for, because I've always shared with my friends or the people close to me, I just want to be in a place where I'm not the only one winning, and I can share that reward with my my close friends and my family, and be able to pay for dinners or go on trips, and really just live life together. Because solo trips are cool, but we weren't put on earth to be alone. And I think most of us who are part of the social media game, or who have strong communities, can really testify to that, because social media goes we're trying to network and meet people and expose ourselves to the world. And I think it's that's going to be the biggest goal that I have coming this next year. I would say, in addition to that, my little boy is turning 2. Mm-hmm. I love him. He's so cute. And I know you guys don't have kids yet, but I think that was a huge contribution to my reshaping this year. Character building. I stole that from my friend Ian's Instagram page. But he's bio. Character building, which I think is huge. But he for being so young and new to life, has impacted me in ways that I would never have fathomed beforehand, and made me a better worker, made me a better lover, made me just all around just a better man. And so in that, I'm really looking forward to the years that, or this next year, because he's starting to comprehend things. You know, he's kind of coming into his own little personality, kind of goofy, stubborn, loves his sweets, a little bit like me, which is very challenging, but also really rewarding. So I think like this next year is just like being not only intentional with my work and enjoying my friends, but like really just like enjoying the moments I have with my kid, dude, honestly, because it's such a sensitive moment of life. But also I'm getting like a redo on life as well, because the things that were mundane before now have color, and I'm starting to like just really learn a lot from him, because I'm like, oh, that's very intriguing actually. You know, that's something that we just, I don't know, just like watching him walk and like enjoy nature and eat food and all these experiences that he has. I'm like, dude, like that's so awesome actually. So it's teaching me just to be also like very intentional. And as far as my relationships go, I think it's gonna like help impact like my friendships moving forward. And you know, I just hope to be like a better man this next year and a better friend, and you know, pour some more effort into my family, and also just be like an, you know, awesome dad, not a regular dad, a cool dad. So,
Definitely.
yeah.
Do you feel like it, like when you had your kid, like before, do you feel like you were very different than versus when you had?
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
you're a completely different person.
Yeah, I would say yes and no. I would say yes in the sense that, you know, being a single dude is obviously pretty fun and it has its perks. Not saying that I was like too reckless or
Right.
wild, but I definitely like lived life to the fullest at that point. And once my son was brought into this world, it was a totally different like mind shift and character shift, and my view and perspectives of what I need to be doing on this planet changed. And it wasn't like, I think most people kind of grow into that, but it was literally like immediate. I was just, as soon as I saw him, I was like overwhelmed with this, like, I absolutely love you. You're my entire world. And if there's anything that I can like leave behind, is that you just had the best life possible. And I co-parent right now, which is also, you know, baby mama, baby daddy stereotype. But honestly, like the amount of love and respect that I have for his mom is infinite. And, you know, at the end of the day, like, you know, we've come to a conclusion that it wasn't about us in a relationship, because we obviously failed in that aspect. But being able to set our prides aside and know that, like, hey, I'm not here to like attack you. Like,
Right.
I really want to work with you to ensure that our kid understands what good parenting looks like, even if we're not together.
Right. So it's like, you guys are working together to give him the best life possible.
Yeah.
Even though you guys didn't work out together in a relationship.
Yeah,
I love
absolutely.
that.
Yeah,
I love
and
that.
I think, you know, it's cool because that example plays into like just relationships in general. And one thing
Right.
that I've always firmly believed is like, there's you as an independent, there's your significant other as an independent, and then there's your relationship. So there's 3 categories that you should be like really in tune with. One being like, you need to be the best version of yourself to be in this relationship, and I expect you to be the best version of yourself to be in this relationship. And when there's problems in a relationship, you know, we obviously should probably like reflect and see what we can do to make change. But not every problem involves a relationship. I mean, to be fair, we're humans and we go through our struggles, and there's conflicts and there's growth, and obviously like 2 different people coming together to make, you know, their worlds one, comes with its challenges. But in a mature sense, you know, it's really good to self-reflect and see like, cool, like what in this you know, argument or conflict am I responsible for? And then obviously like, how does that impact a relationship, and how can we not create an argument of who's right, but like what's right for us moving forward?
Right.
You know, and so yeah, I mean, it's been kind of like, it was unwarranted in the fact that like I didn't plan on having a kid, and I mean Isaiah, and you know, it was also one of the most unexpected blessings that I've ever had, and I every single day I'm grateful for it, and honestly wouldn't change anything, because I wouldn't have built my characteristics in the way that I needed to without those struggles and hardships and unplanned predicaments that had to make us creative, us as me and his mother. So
Correct.
all in all, Solid.
Everything's going good.
Yeah, I'm not encouraging you to go have kids or have baby mamas or baby daddies. Obviously, save that for marriage. 'Cause
You know
it's
what's
important.
crazy though is I heard this from Elon Musk. So Elon Musk is actually saying that we're the biggest threat to mankind right now is underpopulation, which is kind of crazy to think about. Because like what I feel like all the cities right now are freaking crazy, like overpopulated. But it's I guess in the long run it's gonna be underpopulation. A lot of our generation isn't having kids as like the boomers or like people before us. So
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
I gotta
'cause-
get started.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense. I mean, medicines are getting better, and then obviously, like the expectancy for pregnancy is obviously decreased a lot because it's harder for women to birth children nowadays, and I think it's because technology is getting better, which obviously, like everything we put into our body, plays a role in how we live and how our body adapts and stuff. But I can see that being a potential because I know a lot of individuals my age who are single with no kids, and it's like you're kind of reaching that boundary of like where you need to
I'm
get
like,
started. And prayers out to everybody who's in that similar predicament. But that is a trend that is very common, and I hope I'm not speaking just on like my behalf, but I can see where that study actually comes in. Becomes credible.
Right, right. I do. I mean, I could see where he's coming from, but at the same time, I feel like, well, maybe because we live in California, but everything right now is so expensive. So I'm like, man, you have a significant other, and then so say you want to get an apartment. That's anywhere in California is going to be from like $1,400 to $3,600, and that's just for rent. Whereas, and then if you want to like buy a home, it's like anything from like $450 and up if you want to live in like a decent area, So it's just like, dang, you think about all these aspects, and it's like, okay, do I really want to bring a kid into? It's just, I guess there's different ways of seeing it, but to me, I'm like, dang, you really got to be making money to like provide for a family. That's at least how I see it, and I'm like, wow, it's maybe it's just in California.
Yeah. Well, maybe. I mean, you look at Texas. I could see why a lot of Californians move there because it's affordable. But I would also say, the expensive living is obviously increased. I mean, look at minimum wage just went up, and expenses are going up. And we obviously live in one of the more stricter states, which makes it challenging to live in. And I can see how, with all of these difficulties or challenges, it could make cause some hindrance in bringing a kid into the world because kids aren't cheap, and I know that firsthand. I mean, diapers are so expensive, and I know that's a complaint that most parents have, and I wish things were different, but I mean, I can see that being like caused a lot of hysteria and actually caused people to refrain from pursuing something that they ultimately want, which is like bringing their own kid into this world. But who knows, man? We'll see. The world's changing. Elon Musk is gonna, take over the world.
Take us
eventually.
to Mars. Being 22, I mean, what's your take on that? I mean, I know you're probably not thinking about kids now.
No, definitely not. I'm gonna get turned. No, like I definitely just like there's so much more that I want to see, and, like, definitely, for me, like I feel like having children, especially too, is like it, like how you were saying about like Isaiah, like you're just watching him play, and just like it mesmerizes you and it wows you, and I think that's just like with children, like that's the importance of reminding us about simplicity. And as of right now, I'm just like, I'm trying to live life on the edge. No, but I'm genuinely just like enjoying my singlehood right now. I genuinely believe that's my vocation. I believe I'm called to singlehood. That's not out of like not out of like my commitment issues or anything, but it's just like I just feel like I need to just practice being a better partner to myself because I'm a typical person who would just go ahead and tend to self-sabotage a lot. Like I tend to stand in my way and I tend to tell myself no before anybody else does. So being in this environment right now, like I'm more just focused on figuring out me. So like putting a
and being the best version of yourself before you get into any.
Yeah, because just like I want to provide for my partner within an aspect of being that provider that's eligible, like for them to just cast their cares. And as of right now, I'm not choosing to be selfish, but I know that I'm selfish right now. So I know I wouldn't be the best partner and I wouldn't want to do that to my child or to my significant other. So it's just like as of right now, like, yeah, No, not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Not gonna happen.
And one thing I do want to add, because I think that's really powerful that you say that, because not most people in this generation can be alone and not feel lonely, you know. And I think being able to create that space and be in that position as yourself is really powerful and separates actually you from a lot of people. And that's obviously my own opinion, but one thing that I've strived for, because I'm same enjoying my singlehood, you know, I obviously am character building, shout out Yin, but you know, I just want to be the best version of myself for the person that I'm going to be with, in hopes that that person matches my level. And I think that's super hard to find nowadays, especially being a man, because we have to be the providers. But one thing that I've come to conclusion with and really just thought on is that I'm okay being alone and I don't feel lonely. And, you know, I fill my cups my cups up in other ways, as far as like my son is obviously takes a huge toll on my heart, and that's really awesome. But also like spending time with genuine friends who I actually like look forward to seeing is really awesome. And I think like one thing that I've been, again, just teaching some of my close friends is that like you should want people in your life, and you shouldn't need people in your life. And when you get into a point where you need someone, then you need to reflect and take a look in the mirror and look at yourself. But when you want people who equally as want you, like those are the people you gotta keep around for a while. You know what I mean?
Definitely. And I think what you said, like relationship wise, where you're looking for a partner, it's almost like you're gonna be forcing it, and it's usually, you know, the outcome of that isn't gonna end well. So I feel like it's better to be alone with yourself and learn how to love yourself first. And then naturally it just happen. It happens when you least expect it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. What's the quote that's kind of viral? I don't chase, I attract. And I think that is very, or that resonates with this topic specifically, because yeah, you should be able to love yourself most. And at that point too is like, when you love yourself the most, you probably have the highest standards for yourself. So why settle? You know what I mean? And I think people let their insecurities or their harbored feelings from past relationships or toxicity or whatever society says you need to do, kind of playing a role with recalibrating, you know, who you are. And it kind of sets them up for failure, because you're never going to be happy until you're happy with yourself first. And when you do reach that position, it's like really awesome, because then you'll see people who really value you and most likely have that same perception that you have, because they're at eye level with you.
Right.
And those are the people that you probably want to cuff up or like make part of your close circle. And
it's like when you know, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, when you know, you know. And so, I mean, I think that pertains to, you know, a lot of people, because we are in kind of like the society of broken hearts, and you know that's very telling by how many people are really insecure. And right. No shame to your game, you know, I get it. Like you know, dealing with those tough feelings and negative emotions can be very difficult. But you know, you can't just go around some of these things. You have to push through it, and you know, the reward for sticking it through and being unwavering is absolutely incredible, honestly. And for anybody who I know goes through like hardships and have made it, you know, on the other side, they don't change that. Like they wouldn't have changed their past for anything. Like they're like, nope, you know, that is the reason why I am the way I am. And, you know, they get to share that knowledge with individuals and help them, you know, and I think that's really cool.
Definitely. Yeah, I feel like everybody has... Like, I feel like I've been through things that I went through in the past. And, of course, I look back at it and I'm like, man, I wish I didn't have to go through that. But at the same time, I wouldn't be where I'm at now. So it's really about maybe, you know, when it happened, of course, I'm like, oh, like, I hate that I'm going through this. But now I look back at it and it's just like, well, you know what? I learned X, Y, and Z from this. And now I'm here and I can put, you know, whatever I learned from this situation into... Say if it's a relationship, from this relationship, so I could bring it into the next one. And, you know, I can, I guess, grow and learn from what I went through. I would definitely I lost track of what I was saying. But anyways.
No, that's okay. I got where you're coming from, and I think like in those moments you're learning to have grace. And I just had this conversation with Joel because someone was like, "What do your tattoos mean?" And I was like, "Well, grace is allowing your mistakes to be a safe learning place, not only for yourself but for other people." And I think that just ties into, the three experiences that we learn from. And I got this from a buddy he's really awesome, very intellectual, very smart dude. But he shared with me this piece of advice. He's like, there's three experiences that you learn from. One, you learn from your good experiences, right? Two, you learn from other people's experiences, history, right? And then three, you learn from your bad experiences. But the bad experiences are the ones you learn from the most, because they're the ones that you feel the most. Like
I feel like those are the ones that you're really thinking about, and you're like, okay, well, why did this happen? And you're like, I don't know if resonate, is that the right? You're resonating on it, and you're just like, So I feel like the more that you're thinking about it, the more that you're gonna, I guess, grow on it, because I can't find the right words. You see, and okay, this is also what I want to work on in 2024 because I feel like I have everything here, and I think I'm just speaking too fast, and I can't pull out the right words to spit out.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I want to work on.
Huge goal.
But yeah, sorry, I didn't want to. I interrupted you.
No, and that's like you were saying. I think the only thing I would add to that is like, the harsh experiences are things that we don't want to repeat again. Because we as humans in our nature, we don't want to be put into danger or be hurt, because then we're kind of weak, and no one likes to feel weak. Obviously, like, we want to be the dominant species, but in life also we love to win, hence why people are so competitive. And so I think, like, before I continue down that rabbit hole, because that can be its own topic of conversation, I think like when you are the most hurt, you're the most creative, because you either falter to that hurt and you become insecure, become weak, and you dug yourself into a deeper grave, or you overcome, you learn, and it makes you better off for it. But you're only better off for it if you don't make the same mistake twice, right? So I think that's something to learn too, because again, people do tend to repeat bad habits, and I just encourage anybody who's in that situation or acquired anything from what I just articulated, that you don't make the same mistakes twice. Be better. Hold yourself to a higher standard. But you, Joel?
Yeah, I would say definitely be more aware of the decisions that you make, and understand about how it doesn't only affect you, but especially the others in the community that you've built up around you. Like backtracking onto experiencing things and why me or whatever. But definitely one of the biggest things that I had to take away from was being reminded to suffer well, knowing that it's just going to happen in a way. So I'm just in this point in my life, just had to handle it with grace, rely on the strength from him, obviously, and definitely move with that. One of the biggest things I was being reminded of as of recently when I was listening to you was that I had a moment recently where it was just why me? But obviously it's just what, if not me, then who? I understand that this is a part of my testimony. So in the process of my failures and my accomplishments is that there's people that are tied to my yeses and my nos. People are released through my obedience and through other things like that as well too. So really thinking about that, with suffering well, they're gonna happen anyway. That's one of the biggest things that, because I was always looking for them. I was always looking for the bad experience because I felt like I needed to learn through that. But now I'm learning more peacefully. So
Well, it's definitely, I guess you could just really put it as trust the process. Trust the process. Really, it's God knows all, right?
Yeah.
So it's really about trusting His process.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I had a really hard time with that before, because I'm like, well, why? To me, it's just why do I have to go through this where I want to be here? Mm-hmm. But it's not my process, or it is my process, but I don't know how to word this. But it's you just have to really just trust the process, and it's hard to put into words, but once you start trusting the process and just putting your faith in God, you're going to have your ups and downs, but you have those in everything. Mm-hmm. So I feel like that's what I'm learning to do, and so far it's been a pretty smooth ride.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think I agree with everything you both just said. I think as far as trusting the process goes, we've all heard God's plan. And I think, as selfish as we are and as insecure as we can be, we tend to let our humanity take over like our spirituality. And, if you want to be successful as a Christian, someone who believes in Jesus and accepts them, then, you got to obviously sacrifice the flesh and pour into that spirituality and see what comes about. And, it's not no easy task, but like if it was easy, then I think most of us would get into heaven just, by praying our sins away and doing those things, with God's grace and taking advantage of that. But that's not what makes us, better humans, not only for ourselves, but, for the legacy that we decide to leave behind. And as far as what Joel was saying, and the only thing I had to say on that is that, people will tend to say like, oh, everything heals with time. And it's like, no, dude, like time just teaches you how to live with things. And it's not about the length of time that you have, it's about what you do with the time that you have. And to simplify that, I'll use another analogy because I love analogies. People will tend to say it's like, oh, think outside the box. But it's like, okay, but how creative and how good are you thinking with what you got inside the box? Because we only get one mind, right? And it's like, you got to make things work sometimes. And as far as like the healing process goes, yes, you're going to get over it, but it's like what you do with that time, because you can put yourself in self-pity, right? And have a pity party, or you can do something about it. And someone who's gone to therapy, lots of therapy, they teach you like,
I love that though.
Yeah, proactive. I'm not ashamed of it. Most people are like, oh, you're crazy. It's like, nope, everyone needs therapy. So this is your opportunity to go talk about what you need. Whether it's, seeing a therapist or praying to the Lord. But yeah, as far as the time thing goes, I think most people are like, oh, I'll just let time pass. Or I'll get over it eventually. It's like, dude, no, like sack up and do something about it. Like, do you like feeling the way you feel?
Right.
And I think, pertaining to the gym, like if you have complaints about like body dysmorphia or the way you feel, or you want to get more active, it's like, dude, the only way you're going to get results is if you put your money where your mouth is and get your butt to the gym and do something about it. And that same thing goes for the healing process. Like, yes, we do have like a grieving process, or we're sad and we can like let those emotions flood us, which is natural. Crying is healthy. I cry still. TikTok, I'll be watching some TikTok, like, man. But what I mean by that is like, once you've expressed your feelings and you've allowed yourself to, really feel those feelings, like, what are you going to do next? Because if you don't like feeling sad, if you don't like crying in a shower by yourself with your socks on, I'm just kidding, then don't do it. And in all seriousness, it's like, you're your worst enemy at the end of the day, mentally, emotionally. And, the one thing that we can control is like our next move. And so, what are you going to do with it?
I love that, dude. You actually changed my whole perspective on how does it go? It takes time to heal. I never really thought about the way that you just worded it, and like the way that you worded it just makes 100% sense. Like the way that you tied it in with the gym, that's insane.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, and just to repeat it, in case you guys want to write this down, time doesn't heal all things. It teaches you how to live with them. So either get good at it or stay bad at it.
Exactly. I love that.
Joel, what you got?
What?
Okay, well, let's transition really quick.
Yep.
Okay, quick transition into social media. We're all on social media, right? We're 2024. And it seems like everybody's on social media. So I just wanted to speak on, really quick, the pros and cons of, how it affects us in the long run. So I guess I'll go ahead and start off. I feel like, one of the pros for social media, if you use it in the right way, as in like trying to promote yourself or trying to learn from others, I feel like in that way, social media is going to be beneficial. But then there's also all these negatives that we are going to speak on. So I just want to see where we're going to weigh it out. So I'll start that. I started that one. So do you want to come up with like a con?
Yeah, I mean, I have mentioned this before, but I think like the con isn't necessarily social media platforms themselves. I think it's user error, to be honest. I think the intentions behind using social media can be, and I don't want to say wrong, because, you know, if you yourself are using it because you need affirmation, you need to be seen, or, you know, you need some of those attractions, then obviously that's your own medicine. But I would say like that's also, you know, you're stabbing yourself in the back, longevity, because if no one likes what you got, then, you know, you kind of set up yourself for failure. So I tend to just look at social media as a great tool, because like you said, like networking, you know, if you're trying to promote a brand, a business, yourself, I think that it can be very useful. And obviously, like we've seen, you know, the payouts for, on Google, the payouts for some of these content creators, it's pretty insane. But it also is like the best way to connect with around the world. But yeah, I mean, just to backtrack to that and kind of close off on this before I pass it off to our social media guru, Pookie Bear, I would say, yeah, it really depends on the user. And I think one of the cons, again, would be like the intentions behind it. Because, again, if you're looking for satisfaction and I don't want to say attraction, but if you're looking for, again, affirmation, or, you know, those feelings that you should be working on yourself, then, you know, you're kind of setting yourself up for failure. And if you don't make it, I mean, I'm speaking on, you know, some of the few, but I also know some people who are very successful at it and do a really good job. And so I think that's the first con that I would disclose, in my opinion.
I agree.
I think for me, what my biggest con within my experience was definitely not being given the permission from my community to grow, like to be somebody different. You know, my mission is to be a different person from, you know, like as soon as I wake up. You know, I don't want to go to sleep and then wake up being the same person as I was previously yesterday. So as in this process of like putting my life out there and then like watching people see me grow, like I tend to, if I'm being transparent, I tend to elevate quite quickly. Like I take pretty big jumps.
Right.
If I'm being transparent, like even I see that, and like hopefully I can say it within the most humble way. Like, yeah, dude, like I really be making it happen, and it's within my own strength and the community of my people and the people who believe in me that have gotten me this far. But it's just like when the community goes against you when you're living a specific lifestyle and it's something that you want to live, it's very disheartening. Because, you know, it's just like, you know, like you're a part of me, but you're against me in this moment. So it's been like, it's definitely been an eye-opener where I had to realize, like, who am I outside of this? So I had to take a social media break. You know, so just like, this is the only way how I'd be eligible to go ahead and see who I am without the media. Because I like, within the year, you know, like, using it as, like, a marketing tool. That's all I ever did, use it as, like, marketing and, you know, advertising and establishing business connections and networking with others to help create a business for myself, which the business is being me and my credibility. So, like, taking that break off and still being eligible to do these things with the media, I had to take my power back and understand that, like, who I am resides within me and not who people perceive me to be. You know, because that's just, like, you know, like, especially with you, I see the interactions that I have with others, it's very different from most. You know, because they tend to perceive me in a certain way. But as of right now, like, I'm just, like, trying to understand that, like, with social media, that I can still live freely without, like, allowing the opinions to interfere with my experiences, you know. So, like, I would say definitely that's my biggest con. But, yeah, like, definitely. Like, it hurt, like, a lot. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Like, especially, like, when you see, like, somebody who you've grown up with, or, like, you know, like, say, like, these remarks to you, like, oh, like, you can't do this now because you're doing this now, or something like that, you know, because I'm just, like, you know, yeah, I'm doing things different, but it's just, like, dude, like, that, because I'm in a different place in life, does not mean I'm loving you any less from where I'm at. You know, I'm just, like, yeah.
I think if I were to comment on that, like, haters gonna hate.
Yeah.
But also, like, I think people need to know, like, hey, stay in your own lane, because what is unless like you're close to me or like I support you in some way, like what is my personal life and personal choices have to do anything with you? Because if it's not affecting you and you're just in the audience, then take your seat and watch the show, or the exits up the stairs and to the right. You know what I mean? And I'm sorry that you went through that. And, you know, I think that's like a common action that people take when they are sick of social media. I mean, social media sickness is a real thing. I definitely have tried to delete social media, and I guess I'll just add my second con and I'll pass it over to Javi. But I think like the second con is that it can spark up a lot of insecurities within people. And because the social construct, again, like I mentioned earlier, is that there's a successful path in life. And if you're not hitting every step in this way, you're a failure. And I think people tend to be like insecure of like, you know, women, body dysmorphia in the fitness realm. You know, I use women as a
I think it's something that women, everybody struggles with, but I see a lot of women that they'll see, you know, Kim K or, you know, one of those really high up influencers, and they feel like they need to look like them. And I get exactly what you're saying, because I even catch myself looking at like, I guess like David Lade or like a Lex Little, and I'm like, man, I want to look like this guy. But it's not, for me, it doesn't come from like an insecurity. To me, it's just like, okay, I use it more as like motivation. But I definitely get what you're saying about like it could cause insecurities.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. It could really be dependent on the individual, and I'm not speaking on behalf of everybody, and I hope I disclose that well. But yeah, I think it just sparks up a lot of insecurities, because I mean, for the people who are successful in life, it's, I mean, a few. I mean, compared to the rest of the world, like some of the people that we do see, and you know, I'm going to use the fitness realm because I relate to that more. But Chris Bumstead, he's one of how many people in this world that is absolutely crushing it. And there can be people who allow their insecurity, like body dysmorphia, really take control over their mind and the perception of themselves, or they can use it in the way that you do, and use it as motivation. But I do think because of social media, there's like this image, no pun intended, that we tend to like see people living by who classify that as being the only successful way.
Right.
But I mean, it's cool, and it is an awesome way to be successful, and I would classify that as a category of success. But for somebody who's not very social media inclined, like this guy,
Joel.
Yeah, I mean, the things that you know, the values in life, I think, aren't the things that I see people like with money doing. I think it's like, you know, moments like this where I'm like, not everyone's making a podcast or sitting here talking and has the friendships we do. And, you know, just to back up what Giselle said, it's like simplicity, bro. Like, money is cool, you know, give you cool experiences, but, you know, it's not going to buy you relationships. It's not going to buy you confidence, which it might. I mean, if you buy a good haircut. Facial reconstruction to look like Joel. But all that to say is, like, yes, I do think, like, it's generated this path to success that most people who are on social media tend to see quite frequently, which subconsciously plays with your perception of your own life. Right. Which can either be harmful if you're not too careful, but can also be beneficial if you are strategic and motivated by those things. And I would say I'm competitive and I want to compete.
Likewise.
But I think the drawback to that in the fitness realm is because, like, I'm natural in the numbers that I'm putting up, I'm like, oh, that's cool. But is that, like, good enough? You know what I mean? And I think it's...
But if you really think about it, and if you're just looking at this as, like, a strength, like, strength aspect, I think we, like, us right here and Rob, we're probably in, like, at least the 5% strongest people in the gym. Like, if you're comparing everybody in the world, you know? So, like, just to put that in perspective, to me, that's kind of crazy. Like, or, like, I remember I was online and I typed in all my lifts, like, whatever I'm squatting, deadlift, and bench. And then, like, you type it in and it'll, like, shoot you, like, oh, you're, like, 2.5% of, there's only, like, 2.5% people that are, like, where you're at or stronger. Yeah, it's crazy to think about. And I'm like, wow, I'm actually doing work. But then you see, like, online, like, CBum, but then that gets into well, at least for me, because I'm more into powerlifting right now. But yeah, if you're going for like bodybuilding and then you look up to Sebum, you're just like, dang, like 5-time, what is he, 5-time Mr. Olympia?
Yeah, he's solid. And yeah, like seeing those things or like weightlifting quantified in those percentiles is very reassuring. And I was actually thinking about this, and no way am I like contradicting what you're saying, because I love that that they do this. But then I was like, okay, 1%, like 2 percentile in the whole world. But then I think about the whole world, like, who lives in Antarctica and has a gym? You know? Like, there are these
But then, and
little
then I guess you could say, okay, well, if they do like the statistics on the gyms, then where am I gonna be at?
Yeah,
you know, like I want to know where I'm at versus everyone else at the gym.
if every gym
If every gym goer put in like their statistics,
like,
to see,
you know.
you know what, dude? Yeah, I want to know where I'm at.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because I was thinking about that, and I was like, yeah, but I went to India and I didn't see one gym. You know?
Yeah. So that already shoots us up.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, there's a couple million people there that don't work out and probably don't have access. Which, again, I'm not trying to throw shade, right? Because life, is unexpected, and obviously we're very fortunate enough here in the U.S. to have some awesome privileges. But yeah, I was just like thinking about the percentile, and I was like, well, I'm in this percentile, but compared to the whole world, like, what about the man, just chilling on his farm?
Yeah.
Is he included in that, those numbers?
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, that's another good way to look at it.
Yeah, we veered off, but yeah, I would say, insecurity can be another con that I think people need to be aware of. And if you find yourself becoming more insecure or stressed out, like seeing other people, like, and it's affecting you negatively, like, be conscientious of that and, do the things that you need to. But if you see it as like motivational and like you're striving and being proactive and making moves in your life to reach that standard or, that possibility, then kudos to you, bro. Like, keep going.
Definitely. I guess I'll, did I give a pro? I think I did give a pro, so I'll give another con. I think... And this kind of jumps off of what you said about the user and how the user uses social media. I feel like for myself, I used to catch myself on like TikTok for hours, dude, for hours. And it's like, what am I doing? And it's crazy because it's TikTok. They create like this algorithm, and then you jump on like the gym algorithm, and you're just, okay, boom, 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 boom. Or you jump on like something that you're interested in, and then they just catch you, dude. You're just on there for hours. And I'm like, wow, it was 9 o'clock and now it's like 2 a.m.
All right, I got a question for you. What's on your For You page? What do you be watching?
Honestly, yeah, mine is gym.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I would say, I guess it's the way that social media kind of creates that algorithm to be, to me, I perceive it as negative. I understand where they're going with, but the longer that you're on their platform, the more money that they're going to make. So it's beneficial to them. But for us as the user, I feel like we could be using that time to be doing something else. We could be using that time to better ourselves, whereas we're not. We're just spending hours on gym TikTok or soccer or football or fantasy football, whatever. So I would take that as one of the negatives. I caught myself doing that for a while too, and I was like, you know what? I actually deleted TikTok. I was doing that a little bit on Instagram. I deleted Instagram, and then I kind of did like a refresh, like how you did, and I pretty much limited. You know what? And actually, Apple has like a times how much time you spend on apps, and I put like a limitation on mine for like an hour.
Wow.
Nice.
So,
dude, yeah, that's solid. And I'm only smiling and laughing because I am a victim of TikTok. I love TikTok. And I be sending TikToks to my buds all the time. Joel is a recipient of those TikToks. My For You page is kind of all over the place, but I think the one thing that I'm like stuck on right now is I love cooking videos. And, like, especially the outdoor by the river, yeehaw, I'm gonna catch this fish, and like the ASMR videos have been just like so addicting to the point where like will go to bed watching them, and in the middle of the night I'm so hungry and I'm having dreams of food, and then when I wake up I'm like, dude, I just want a torta. And my coworkers, I'm like, I just want a torta. They're like, John, you're hangry. I'm like, I need a torta. And I tried to go buy one, but the taco truck that I go to was not there. So every time that I went to go buy one. So
Which taco
I still
truck
haven't
you
got a
actually
torta. Dang it. I want to say it's called La Azteca. It's right there on Harding and Pacific on the end of Miracle Mile where the PK Tires is. No?
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
No. Well, so when I first moved to Stockton, that was the taco truck I went to because it's right across the street from my work. Family-owned business. The kids were like this high, you know. Oh yeah, what can I get for you? And now they're actually the ones running it, and they did some remodeling, bought a new van, and really on the come up. They're actually really busy all the time. So, no, they did not pay me to shout them out. I am not sponsored by them because I still haven't got my torta. So if they watch this somehow, some way, no, I'm coming. But yeah, no, I think, that place is really good, and the customer service is great, and they've really just put in some time and effort into their business, and you can't go wrong with some good Mexican food,
Definitely.
especially when it's right across the street from
Especially in this area, bro.
Yeah.
Like, where I feel like we have the best Mexican food. We really do. Versus, honestly, maybe I'm not the best person to say that because I don't really eat taco truck often, but when I do, I'm like, okay, this is fire.
Yeah.
But from here to, I don't know, you go to down in LA, I feel like this is probably controversial because I know everybody in LA is like, no, we have the best Mexican food, but no, I think we probably do.
Dude, we definitely have. The best fast food places, the best food trucks are in the ghetto. And I'm not saying all Stockton's ghetto, but some of the best cooks I've ever met have been in the hole-in-the-wall places. And yes, that is very controversial because I did have some smack video tacos one time in LA, but they were right next to what is it, Splinter Village or whatever they call that, transient camp. I forget what it's called, so correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, and I was like, dude, like this looked like I just walked through a porta potty door and there's tacos in there. You know what I mean? But they were absolutely gas. So yeah, I would say like that's the best place, and the reason being is because we just have like authentic people here, and I'm pretty particular with my taco truck too. Like I hold my mom's cooking and my dad's cooking as the foundation, and boldigas, tacos de lengua, almost everything. And so I just have really high standards. So when I go to a booth taco truck, like, I don't know, I went to one in, I can't remember, in Oregon, and they're like, this is the best Mexican food in town.
Oh,
and I was like,
you can't
no,
trust
it's
that.
not. I was like, no, it's not. Stop.
So if you were to put that taco, dude, we jumped way off topic. Oh, yeah. But anyways, if you were to put that taco truck onto a scale of like 1 to 10 versus like the ones over here, what would that one be in Oregon versus like the ones here?
Ooh, the one in Oregon, comparatively here, I would never go back to. So I would not bring it here. But the one that I do go to, I would rank it in like an 8 or 9 for sure.
Nice.
Yeah. So, come check them out. They're pretty good. PK Tires, corner of Miracle Mile and Harding.
Dude, wait, are you literally talking about right here?
Yes, absolutely.
Dude, okay, I know which one you're talking about.
La
Yeah.
Azteca.
Yeah.
What about you? I don't mean we're talking about tacos now, but what were we talking about?
Social media. Pros and cons of social media.
Yeah, the con was getting...
it was just like spending too much time on it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I veered off a little bit. Sorry. Cooking TikToks, they are very addictive. Also, the coming home videos, like...
military, yeah.
Be making me so sad. And then the singing videos too. I'm like, dude, there's one skill I wish I had. I wish I could sing. If I could give up Joel to sing, I would.
Dude, shout out to my dad because my dad could sing.
Really?
Yeah. He's in mariachi,
dude. What?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is one skill I wish I had. Absolutely. But I'd be watching those singing videos. I'm like, that, dude, I'm just so mad. But also like.
But can they lift as much as you?
Yeah, I know, but there's this one girl who's like on America's Got Talent, and she just doesn't look like she can sing very well, and she sings, I think it's Red, Seeing Red.
I know who you're talking
Yeah,
about.
bro, and she just gave me the chills, and I was like amped. But
She makes I think she does coffee videos on TikTok.
Yes. So powerful in her voice. But anyways, yeah, sidetrack. Too much time on TikTok, but Taco Truck, hit it up. Not sponsored. Javi's dad can sing. I think that was a summary. What about you, Joel? Do you have another pro or con?
Definitely a pro for me would be like how relaying it back to how you said was using it as a tool. I believe I've used social media to the best of its advantage regarding marketing, networking, establishing business connections. Definitely I just love social media. Honestly, the amount of people that I've met, the people I met through it, it's definitely a beautiful thing. And stepping away from it is just, and coming back into it is forgot how much I love the community, and knowing that the people who I want to see are there and then they've remained there. It means so much to me to just take everybody back in and take all that love back in as well too. But yeah, dude, there's money in there. Just being 100% transparent. There's money in it. I even was talking to my other friend who we're actually planning to possibly go ahead and sponsor them within the next couple episodes. But going back to that, we were just talking because she has a total of 400K, 400K followers on social media, and then she's just Joel, I'm not seeing any money. I know you've done modeling, done all these things, and I got a check from doing certain things.
Right.
So she was like, how do you do this? And I was just explaining to her, it's the simplest of little things, just you just need to find a tangible product. Dude, people look at followers as just followers. Imagine if you had 400K followers, right? And each of them gave you $1. What would that amount to? 400K, so it's in the power of catering to your audience where the money comes rolling in, if I'm being transparent. This could go on forever, but I mean, definitely I would say, social media is definitely a tool. Don't let it use you, use it. And yeah, don't conform to the, just to elaborate, don't conform to the image of, what's out there, just stay true to who you are, focus on figuring out who you are, and if so be it, if that social media that either deprives you of that opportunity or encourage you to strive for that, then so be it.
Yeah, and I we were just talking about this too, and I hope that she wants us to sponsor her in some way, somehow, even if I'm just holding a cup like this the whole time with the name or her Instagram tag. But what I was gonna say about that is, I think just in addition that social media is a great tool, and if you want to be successful in any business, find an answer to a problem that humans have. And that will tend to be the thing that people want. But I also just wanted to reserve my pro or con for our social media, man, because someone who works in videography and photography and has put all this together, I'm kind of curious what your pros and cons would be, or your advice to any people using to leverage social media as a tool, getting into videography. What other questions can I ask? Processing. All right, so give it a round of applause to Rob. Woo!
So this is Rob's actual first appearance. We'll go ahead and give him a proper introduction, maybe on the next pod. On the next pod, for sure. But yeah, do you want to repeat your question?
Yeah. Sorry, repeat question. I'm reading the subtitles because we have everything worded
right
out.
There, right up there.
I got to kind of go off script a little bit. But the question we were talking about is pros and cons of social media. But I was just curious, since you work, mainly with social media, not only creating content for businesses and individuals like us. That's how we met. But if you have any pros and cons to social media, or any tips or tricks for people using to leverage social media to start their careers?
I would say first, just a little bit of storytelling from pros and cons is actually, if it wasn't for social media and just a desire of posting content out in general, I wouldn't be employed right now. I actually work with a gym on a weekly basis, and that gym, God bless Mike and his gym as well, Get Fit 24/7. But I'm their videographer. I do the photography. I do all that great stuff. And he found me just by merely me creating some content with my friend, Nohea. I was recording him at the gym. I tagged Nohea on the reel, and I tagged the gym on the reel. Jim saw it because I tagged him through social media, reached out to me, and brought me on. So like that was a great experience, and that's one of the positives from there. From that, I would say don't ever be shy. Like from a positive story from my life experience to what I can share with everybody else is don't ever be shy. Post it out there because you never know who's watching. That's actually how I got one of my sponsors for my tattoos, Mad Rabbit Tattoo. I have like ointment, stuff like that, healing. I did photography. I posted my tattoos after they healed, and they reached out to me as well. So I have a sponsor code through them as well. So like just by posting out there, even if it doesn't even look the best, who knows who needs a cameraman? It could be just amateur stuff. That's why I started off in amateur. I learned everything off YouTube, and the knowledge is out there. And I think Javi and I were having that conversation today, or even yesterday. Like the knowledge is there. It's on YouTube. You just got to go out there and like go find is like how bad do you guys want it is the question, you know. And to backtrack that, I'm gonna get a little off course right now, but the Tate brothers said this is have fun being poor. If you don't want to earn the money and work hard and do things that you like and love, have fun being poor. It sounds kind of like a little intense, but it's the reality of the truth. If you're not going to put your passion out there for you guys to, you know, pursue and watch and all that great stuff so people could absorb it, you're going to be stuck at the 9-to-5 job. We're taking a risk right here. This is a calculated risk. We're all here for a reason. We all like talking. We all have some sort of stories to say. And if it wasn't for us, this wouldn't be happening. If it wasn't for us, who knows who we could be encouraging right now.
All right, y'all. Before we finish off, I got this for Christmas. It was one of my auntie's funny gifts, but I actually find it really interesting because we are all gonna test out our grip strength, and I don't want to lose, so I'm gonna stand up. And actually, I'll let Rob go first.
Rob,
so
let's go, boy.
Here we go.
That camera holding strength.
That actually might be why, because it is a workout for the forearm holding the camera.
Dang!
My knuckles.
169. So we got 169.8. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna beat that.
I think mine's probably gonna be under 100. Should I do my right? Should I do my right or my left?
You're strong. Your dominant hand.
Okay, wait. My left is broken right now.
Then your right hand, boy.
Fuck. I'm gonna be scared.
Let's see it. Squeeze. Oh, not bad. You're over 100.
Oh shit! I'm surprised. What was it?
You got 117.2.
That's solid.
All right, John. Let's see what you got.
You can beat me, bro. You
Well,
got
that
this.
should
You
be
got
like
this.
200.
Nope, 138.
138.8. All right, Rob.
Roll that
There you go.
Use two hands, bro. We won't tell nobody.
That's crazy. Let's go.
Yeah, that's all I got.
135.
So it looks like.
Oh, we still have 4 out of 5. We still got you.
Oh yeah, Daniel still gotta go. Well, I got 135.4. What you be doing, Rob? What kind of workouts you be doing?
You guys, you know?
Anyways, we're
So
the
we got our
five
winner.
guys.
See you
Love
later.
you.
So yeah, we're the 5 guys. We'll see you guys next time.
Oh yeah.